what were you doing? What was going on 1,000 seconds ago, 100,000 seconds, a million seconds, a billion seconds, and a trillion seconds? This is one of my favorite questions that we do in Algebra 1 because it kind of helps you understand relative size. Like, I love to ask this question of, if this is 0 and this is 1 billion, where is a million? So maybe we'll come back to that at the end. So for me to get my head around 1,000 seconds, I like to convert it to units that I can think about. And so I'm going to convert this 1,000 seconds to a bunch of different units, and you might wonder why I'm doing it to all these different units, and I think it'll become clear as the problem goes on. So for 1,000 seconds, how many minutes is that? Well, I know 1,000 seconds is equal to 60, or I know 60 seconds is in a minute. But where do I put, do I put 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute like that? Or do I flip it and write 1 minute is 60 seconds? Because I'm trying to create a conversion here, and I'm trying to figure out what to do. And all the science teachers always tell me, focus on dimensional analysis. Have them look at the units first. So I have seconds, and I'm trying to get to something more sensible, maybe minutes. So if I think about this, if I have minutes on top and seconds on bottom, well, my seconds divide out and I'm left with minutes. But if I have seconds on top and minutes on bottom, then my units become seconds squared per minute. And what does that even mean, seconds squared per minute? I'm not really sure. So to convert to minutes, I need to have seconds times minutes per second so that my units divide out. Well, I know 1 minute is 60 seconds. So when I have 1,000 seconds, I can compute that. And that is 16.6 barred minutes. Okay, 16 minutes ago. I could probably figure out what I was doing 16 minutes ago. What about hours? So now, to convert this to hours, I would take what I convert to minutes, and now I need to get rid of minutes and convert it to hours. Well, I know 1 hour is 60 minutes, and so I can convert that. So that is 0.27 barred hours, a quarter of an hour, a little bit more than that. Okay, again, I can get my head around that. Maybe I want to go to days. Well, I know, let me continue this conversion down here, so a little bit more room. I know that 1,000 seconds, or I know I'm in hours, but I know that I need to get rid of hours and get to days. And I know there are 24 hours in one day. So I divide by 24, I multiply by 1/24, and I get 0.011574074 days. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. So I'd probably use minutes, but I'm going to keep going just to illustrate a point. So maybe I want to get to years. Years is a tricky one. Lots of people argue about years, how many days in a year. I'm going to go with 365 and a quarter days, assuming this is over a longer period of time, is equal to 1 year. So divide by 365.25, and I get 3, let me write it as a decimal, 0.12340, 3168808. And you might wonder, why am I writing all these decimal places? That seems crazy. You'll see in a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then years, what else would I want to know? Decades, centuries. I think years is probably enough. So now the question is, well, what's 100,000 seconds going to give me? And do I have to recompute all this stuff to figure out what this means? Well, no, because time is proportionate. And so 100,000 is 100 times as big as 1,000. So that means every single one of my conversions is going to be 100 times as big, which means I move the decimal place 2 to the right. So this is going to be 1666.6 barred minutes. I don't know what that means, but maybe 27 hours, 0.7 barred hours. Yeah, that's now a unit I can understand. Or 1.1571074 days. That's a unit I can understand. Or 0.003168808. Again, a unit I can't quite understand yet. What about a million? Well, how does that relate to 100,000? A million is one more decimal place. So now we're talking about 16,666.6 barred minutes. Don't know what that means. 277.7 barred hours. Don't know what that means. 11.571074 days. Yeah, I get my head around that. 11 and a half days ago. I could probably figure out what I was doing 11 and a half days ago. 11.5 days. So you notice these are all proportionate based on what the order of magnitude is that the one is bigger than the prior one. Or, again, 0.031688808 years. Don't know what that is. Now, a billion seconds ago is 1,000 times as big as a million. Think about that. A billion is 1,000 millions. So when I'm trying to select my place on this number line, on where is a million, I have to think about it's 1,000th of the way to a billion. So it's like right next to the zero. This is where a million is. Isn't that crazy? Most people think a million's really big, but compared to a billion, not so big. So again, where does it fall on here? Well, let's see. So I moved the decimal place 3 places over. 16,666,666.6 barred. Again, a very big number. I'm not sure how many minutes that is conceptually. 277,777.7 hours. Too big. Can't figure it out. 11571.074 days. Still 11,000 days. Not quite sure. 31.68808 years. 31 years ago. Were you alive a billion seconds ago? Many of you were not. Just as sort of a touch of history. So this is 31.69 years. From the time I'm recording this, it's May in 2012. Here's what was going on a billion seconds ago. Jimmy Carter was just leaving office in place.
I promised you a president who is not isolated from the people.
Of this man, Ronald Reagan.
A time that to be a Republican in this area of the country felt a little bit like being Gary Cooper in high noon.
Some hit rock, some hit music for the day. Pink Floyd, The Wall. Other things, Michael Jackson's Rock With You was a really big hit.
Introducing Tresemme Style Setters.
I'll wait for this ad to go by. Apologies for that. I am not sponsored.
At Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week to see how Tresemme hairstylists and top designers collaborate on the hair that goes down the runway.
You might recognize this song. So that was a hit. I think the #1 hit for the year, the one that stayed on Billboard the longest. Again, I'll wait for this to go by. The one that went the longest was Blondie's Call Me. Apologies for the ad. So this was a long time ago. Other things, Star Wars Empire Strikes Back was on the main screen. The first version, not the two versions they released after that. And the Blues Brother was also a big hit.
106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Get it.
So you can imagine that was a long, long time ago. Now, a trillion seconds ago, you can imagine moving the decimal place 3 more places. So it's 31,688,000 years ago. And this was, the first tools were thought to have been made. First tools. There were the Neanderthals on Earth. It was a long time ago, a trillion seconds ago. So when a lot of people look at this and they do this exercise and they're just like, What were you doing a trillion seconds ago?" They're like, I was sleeping, I was eating, I was talking." But relative size is really important, and we can use proportions to solve these things and an understanding of conversion.